devices they had in the nose of the plane was a magnetic air detection. Or magnetic, in other words, what it does, there's a magnetic field on the Earth.
Right.
And this would actually follow this field.
Oh, okay.
And this device actually could listen, or so we detect 1,000 feet all the way around the blimp.
Wow.
So we could fly about 50 feet over the water, and we could be almost 1,000 feet underwater. So we could detect a sub. And you see the needle go like this, and then it'll go like this. So you knew that was a sub.
Oh, okay.
So then we'd circle around. We had a way of maneuvering until we actually got to the sub and dropped their bombs,
Oh, okay.
But it was,
Yeah. So what kind of transition from that? You went from the Jacksonville being a mechanic and structural engineer, and now you go to the blimp. You're doing a different job. You weren't no longer a structural engineer, right?
Well, there was still stuff involved in that, but mostly a blimp is like a bag, right? And it's filled with helium, and they had the skin on it, and sometimes it would get abrased or there'd be leaks in it, things of things. We learned how to patch those. The elevators and the rudders. I mean, they had structure and they had fabric on it. Okay, so we learned how to handle that.
So some of your skills were transferable to the blimp. Some of the things you knew, some of the skills were transferable.
Right. So that was the idea.
Oh, okay.
So let's say after our training in Lakehurst, New Jersey, then we actually went down to an operating base, which was in Brunswick, Georgia.
Okay. So how did you travel to Brunswick? How did you travel?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Bus or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And the Brunswick is exactly halfway between Jacksonville, which I was stationed there, and Savannah. So that's basically where it was located. And it was great service there. I mean, the temperature was great and stuff like this. And from there, like I said, I was a combat air crewman then, and we took care of some of the problems that the blimps had. Something go wrong. Let me explain one of the things that happened. While we were maneuvering with the sub one time, this ship next to us, a window popped out of a car. Flew back, the prop caught it and popped it up into the bag. Tore a hole in it. Okay?
In your ship or the other ship?
It was a ship next to us. Okay? So it got back to the base okay, and we repaired it. Okay? And the next time we flew that blimp, and everything was fine. The next time we flew out with and maneuvered with it, and somebody else had that blimp. And the same window popped back out again, came back, hit the prop, and flew up through the top of the bag as well this time, for an 8-foot hole at the top. Okay? So it flew around for a good hour before it lost enough gas or helium that it just settled up in the nose, so it just circled around and around. It couldn't go anywhere. So he said, well, let's hit the water with it. So they hit the water with it. And wind was starting to carry the thing away, but they inflated a boat and all got out. Okay, and then what are you gonna do with this thing? So the subsurface, okay, that we were maneuvering with, and he said, well, we can put it under our nose and take it back to the base that way. Well, they said, no. Well, let's put a cable on it. We'll tow it. All right. So they hooked the cable to this thing. They started towing it. The cable snapped. Okay. So what are we going to do with this? Well, I guess we're just going to have to destroy it. So we told the sub where the gas tanks were in the car. And they got on their deck gun and shot at it till they got it. And, finally burned up and went down. I mean, this is an example of actually how a blimp can exist, because people shoot at with guns and this and that, but it ain't gonna bother it. There's 1 million cubic feet of helium in the bag. these Goodyear blimps that are flying around at 200 and some thousand cubic feet.
Right.
To give you an idea of the difference in the size, and those aren't small, are they?
No.
You've probably seen them around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're really big.
Wow. Oh.
And you get 3 of them in the hangar, nose to nose, to give you an idea how big the hangar is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So did you ever have any fatalities or real major accidents or real major mishaps with the blimps that you were aware of or that you had heard about? Or?
Well, one thing is, there's a couple other incidents we had, so I can explain those.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is one of our pilots,
Mm-hmm.
a young pilot, decided we're going to have a new way of listening in to the subs.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to drop a sonar buoy that is attached to the blimp. Okay? All right? So we had this long wire and a reel. So we put this buoy on the end of this thing and we're running it out. Okay, so it goes out like this, way out, and then settle a little bit. But it just wasn't going down fast enough or, straight down enough.
Mm-hmm.
So said, well, let's lower the blimp. We'll go lower and lower.
Mm-hmm.
We start going down and down and down. I'm looking, I'm in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, interaction. I said, wow, we're going to hit, sir. And sure enough, we hit the water. And so anyhow, they have a release a line or a rope, a line we call it,
Mm-hmm.
a long one. They released it, unfortunately, accidentally. And it got back and twisted in the prop.
Wow.
So here we are. So now we're setting in the water. One of the engines is stopped with this line. So we drop the catwalk out. You can actually service the engine while flying. You go out this catwalk, and you're one working on the plane. The guys can change plugs or everything while we're flying in the air. It's interesting. So anyhow, I volunteered. I'm the only one that's not married on it, so I go out and take, the captain says, no. He went out and he cut the line. Finally got it started, we took off, okay. So that was the end of that episode.
Yeah, they know travel.
Yeah. We did, another incident was maneuvering with another sub. We also were maneuvering with an aircraft carrier, learning how to land on an aircraft carrier. Because in World War II, when any convoy that was escorted with a blimp never lost a ship.
Wow.
So this is how important those blimps were on these convoys. So in any event, we were maneuvering on landing on an aircraft carrier, okay? We'd land on the deck and then take off, land on the deck and take off. Well, there were some cables coming down with rings in the end, and we used to snap lines on those to hold the blimps, right, to control the blimps. Well, one of those caught somewhere on the conning tower or something on the aircraft carrier and just tore the blimp. So it landed in the water and it caught fire. In 10 minutes it was gone. All the guys got out. So that was another thing. There were lots of other blimps.
So how many did you have? How many blimps?
Well,
where you were stationed?
We had about 3 blimps. In our outfit.
Okay.
So in Brunswick.
And
by the way, back to New Jersey, if I may say.
Yeah, go ahead.
They had one large hangar there where the Hindenburg was housed. And it was so big that the tail wouldn't even fit in to the hangar. So that's how big that sucker was compared to our blimp season. So, and that again was a dirigible. In fact, the Navy started off with dirigibles, rigid airships. And they had so many problems with it, they went into flips, bags. So I can continue with on some more things about Brunswick, Georgia. We took 3 flights down to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. It was called Advanced Based Operation. And so we were maneuvering with subs between Haiti and Cuba. So we were having a good time with that.